Bernt Stellander is the author of a book called The Sudden Impulse about the Madeleine McCann case. He became interested in the case after moving to southern Portugal in December 2016. Initially, he only had basic knowledge from internet forums, but decided to investigate further. In March 2017, he visited Praia da Luz and became curious about Kate McCann's alleged dream of Madeleine being hidden on a hillside overlooking the beach. Stellander began methodically surveying the hill, looking for possible burial sites. He was searching for subtle symbols like hearts, pink flowers, and the letter M that a grieving mother might place. Surprisingly, he found such symbols in one area. He set up cameras and captured footage of Gerry McCann walking past this spot. After unsuccessfully trying to contact former detective Gonçalo Amaral, Stellander decided to investigate on his own. He began sending anonymous emails to the McCanns, hinting that Madeleine's location may have been discovered in an attempt to provoke a reaction. According to Stellander, this led to the McCanns and their friends visiting certain spots on the hillside, which he captured on camera. He interprets their behavior as suspicious and indicative of guilt. Stellander believes Madeleine died accidentally in the apartment on the evening of May 2nd, 2007, the night before she was reported missing. He thinks she likely fell from the sofa while sedated, hitting her head fatally. In his view, the McCanns and their friends then conspired to cover up the death and stage an abduction the following night. He argues that the timeline presented by the McCanns and their friends is full of inconsistencies that point to this earlier death. For example, he notes discrepancies in their statements about whether apartment doors were locked or unlocked. Stellander believes the McCanns initially hid Madeleine's body in the nearby cemetery, then later moved it to a spot on the hillside using a rental car obtained weeks after her disappearance. Stellander discusses the evidence that makes him doubt the abduction theory, including the lack of any forensic evidence of an intruder in the apartment, inconsistencies in witness statements and timelines, alerts by cadaver and blood detection dogs in the apartment and rental car, the McCanns' behavior in the days and weeks after Madeleine's disappearance. He is critical of the official investigations, believing there has been a cover-up extending to high levels of the British government. Stellander argues that Operation Grange, the Metropolitan Police Review, was not allowed to properly investigate the McCanns. He cites former detective Colin Sutton's claim that he was told the McCanns were not to be treated as suspects when he was considered to lead the investigation. Stellander is dismissive of the recent focus on German suspect Christian Bruckner, believing there is no real evidence linking him to the case. He sees this as an attempt by authorities to find a convenient suspect and close the case. Stellander acknowledges that his theory is controversial and not accepted by everyone investigating the case. However, he claims some respected researchers, like former police superintendent Peter MacLeod, have come to support his timeline after scrutinizing his book. He expresses frustration that his book and press conference have been largely ignored by mainstream media, especially in Portugal. Stellander believes this may be due to some kind of injunction or pressure to avoid challenging the abduction narrative. While confident in his conclusions, Stellander emphasizes that he wants people to read his book and make up their own minds based on the evidence he presents. He hopes his work will be a game changer in how people understand the case. Stellander insists his motivation is uncovering the truth, not making money or gaining attention. He expresses a desire for Madeleine to be found and given a proper burial. While he believes his book reveals what really happened, he acknowledges that finding physical remains after so many years may be unlikely. He plans to continue investigating and promoting his book, hoping it will lead to a breakthrough in the case. Stellander believes Kate McCann may eventually break her silence, though he admits this may be naive. Throughout the interview, Stellander offers various observations and speculations about the case. The McCanns' relationship. Stellander claims the McCanns are no longer together as a couple, though this is not public knowledge. He believes their relationship likely broke down due to the strain of Madeleine's death and the subsequent cover-up, as often happens in families who lose a child. Possible motives. While cautious about speculating on motives, Stellander suggests the cover-up may have been partly to protect the McCanns and their friends from losing custody of their other children or facing professional consequences as doctors. He also hints at the possibility of prior sexual abuse, citing a statement from Dr. Catherine Gaspar about concerning behavior she allegedly witnessed from David Payne and Gerry McCann on a previous holiday. Media and public reaction. Stellander is critical of how the case has been handled in the media. He believes the McCanns actively sought publicity in the early stages, citing their hiring of a PR firm. However, he also condemns the harassment of people like Brenda Leyland, who committed suicide after being confronted on television about her online comments about the case. Stellander expresses sympathy for Kate McCann, believing she has been under immense pressure. He speculates that she may have wanted authorities to find Madeleine's body without directly incriminating herself, citing her dream about where Madeleine might be hidden. Stellander ends the interview by reading a statement from his book, challenging readers to compare the evidence he presents with the lack of evidence for an abduction. He hopes his work will lead to the truth finally emerging, but also calls for compassion towards those involved if this happens, acknowledging the difficult situation they found themselves in. The interviewer concludes by emphasizing the need to remain open-minded, as there is still a possibility, however small, that the McCanns are innocent and Madeleine was indeed abducted. He expresses hope that answers will eventually be found to put the speculation to rest and allow Madeleine to be laid to rest if she is indeed deceased.